Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trackside with Tom. My name is Tom Hogan. I'm the owner and operator of Steel Highway Webcams, and I have with me here from beautiful Florida, we have Mr. Patrick Shea out here today. How are you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing all right.
Excellent. And Patrick is on family vacation on spring break, but he's taken the time to check in with us up here in snowy eastern Iowa today. So thank you for that, Patrick.
No problem.
Now, Patrick, when you come back from spring break, are you going right back over to the Big Ten or the NCAA tournament also?
So I was not selected to be a part of that. So if the basketball team makes it to the Sweet 16, then I will be traveling with them.
Aha. All right. Well, just a little, not train-related note there, but
Yeah,
certainly hope that you have that opportunity.
I would love to. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we have a train showing up here in Grand Mound right now. And we have a foamer standing at the crossing in Grand Mound doing some photography.
That's a derogatory term. Please don't use it.
Yeah, exactly. We have a loaded coal train going through Grand Mound right now. Not particularly quickly, I might add. And let me see if I can MILX and yeah, TILX. This is kind of a CITX. This is a whole train load of lease hoppers, it looks like.
Interesting.
So,
You
oh,
wanna,
wait a second. I
share
saw
your
some.
screen with me.
There's a TGNX. I'll bet that one, if you found TGNX, that might indicate the owners of the or the destination of the coal train. The owners of the set,
Right.
potentially.
Yeah. You want to share your screen with me?
Oh, sure, I can do that. Yeah, and our friend out here in the white car, that's Austin Hamilton. So thank you, Austin, for checking in. I actually think that this is something that we should start doing a little more often. If somebody is out at a webcam location while we're doing Trackside with Tom, we should totally do live check-ins with Steel Highway fans. I think this would be kind of fun. So, if anyone needs some traveling destinations or some goals this summer, we definitely would love to have more railfan check-ins while we're live on Trackside with Tom. But yes, Mr. ATSF 49, that is Austin Hamilton from Clinton, Iowa, and he's about 25 miles west of Clinton, checking out this loaded coal train going east through Grand Mound right now. Let's see here. So who have we got online? We got 25 people online with us today. Thanks everyone for checking in. We've got Mr. Stephen Kern. Yes, we did a test at a temporary location in Greeley, Colorado, and the bandwidth did not support the feed. So we had to shut down the test over the weekend. But that is something that we tried. So we're still waiting for the Colorado Model Railroad Museum to get a fiber line laid to their location. And once that happens, then we will in fact have, a permanent feed going. We had tried testing at a temporary location and it didn't work very well. So we're moving on and just being patient. There's the DPU, so just a conventional coal train, 125 cars or whatever they're running them, going by Grand Mound. And Austin, if you happen to know if there's any other traffic nearby, go ahead and tune in with that. So, trains in Minnesota. Ian, how are you doing? John, good to see you. Big Trains TV. This is our host of the Bergenfeld webcam, which I'm actually going to jump over to today. I don't want to out him as, like doxing people, right? Giving out their full names and everything. We're not going to do that unless he wants to share it himself. But Big Trains TV, it's good to see you. Thanks for checking in. And he is the host of our shared webcam feed out of Bergenfeld, New Jersey. So thank you. And let's see here. 1155 CN 3115 at Ninon A447. We're going to have to figure that out. Hello, Barry Anderson, Yardmaster. Good to see you. Brett, good to see you. Good afternoon, everyone. Malfunction Junction, a new check-in here. I don't think I've seen him online before. And 24 degrees and another 10 inches of snow here in northwest Wisconsin. That's just crazy. Although, I'll tell you, we're going to go over to Mount Pleasant later. I spoke with the station agent at the Mount Pleasant Amtrak Depot, and he said that they are just getting hammered over in Donner Pass. Hello from California, Angela. Good to see you. What part of California are you at? Because we were just talking about Amtrak and the California Zephyr getting just nailed and delayed so significantly over in Northern California and Nevada. What have we got? Anthony Venti. Hello. Dave Kroger. Hello to you. Patrick Shea. Yeah, you're on here with me, but thanks for tuning in with the comments.
I'm in both places.
Yeah, you're participating both ways. Good work.
Yeah. Austin says there's an eastbound intermodal not too far behind the coal train.
Okay. And I actually have the CN Dubuque sub pulled up, and we have a northbound on the CP that's getting lined across Wood and Dubuque Junction. So we have that to check out here in a little bit as well.
We don't get a whole lot of live trains on the CP Dubuque cam on Trackside with Tom, so I'd like to see that.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to jump over to Bergenfeld, New Jersey, because that was actually something that I was thinking about, that we hadn't checked in there since I had restarted our episodes here in January. But if I scroll down here, we're going to find Bergenfeld, and we are going to look in live. So Bill, that runs Big Trains TV, has been gracious enough to share this feed with us. And if he wants to, he can chime in with some of the details about this location. But you can see this triple-headed signal mast over here on the side, and it looks like there's something lined up. It looks like there might be an approach on that top signal aspect. But right now, we're going to back up and see if we can find... This is a CSX line. This is the CSX Selkirk line. And we're going to keep going back, and we're going to find a train here off of the Bergenfeld webcam. So, Patrick, while I'm going through here, have you found me any good locations for webcams in Florida?
I've not yet, but I feel like if I manage to stop at Lakeland, could try and find a good spot, because Lakeland Junction is a pretty busy area.
Yeah. That would be a pretty neat spot. So we do have the gates coming down. I found at 11:51. And what do we have here? We got some CSX power. It looks like we've got a couple of the CSX boxcar logos going by. That's pretty neat. Pair of them, the 3314, and I think the first one might have been the 3327, but I didn't catch that. So, Salt Lake City Zephyr. That's right, Barry Anderson, yes. When we jump over to Mount Pleasant, we'll talk about that a little more. And Larry Osborne, good morning from Central Iowa. Good to see you guys. So when we get to look at these trains that are thousands of miles away, not thousands, but over 1,000 miles away over here in New Jersey, one of the things that I find interesting is what kind of car loadings do you get? And we have a huge string of empty bulkhead flats, which I feel like we get across all of our Wisconsin cameras quite a bit too. But I find this fascinating, just a huge string. There's a load. One load at the very end of a long string of empty bulkhead flats. Some very graffitied boxcars.
So some Krandic-esque boxcars.
Yeah. And these CSX coal hoppers, I don't know that I've seen that very often before either. I don't know that I've ever seen CSX company coal hoppers before. These hoppers, I know that these CSX 3-bay covered hoppers make it out to Iowa sometimes.
They do, yeah.
So that apparently is the end of the train. I think we skipped a little bit there at the very end, but
We do have, at 10:53, we have a CN Veterans locomotive leading M357 by Nina.
ooh, okay. Well, we're going to go to Nina and Stevens Point here next. I think that we'll go to both of those. So, let's go check out, because we had a timestamp of the we had a timestamp for the CN 3115 by Nina.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to go check that.
And that one is at 11:55:32.
Yeah. So we don't even have to back up very far. And then was the one that you saw, that veterans unit, was that before? Was that an earlier
so
timestamp?
that was 10:53:17.
Yeah. All right. Well, here comes the CN 3115. This is the BC Rail Heritage unit that the CN has painted. And we can see him approaching on the siding, it looks like. He is not running down the main. He's on the siding. And then a UP SD70 following it up.
It's interesting to see a UP motor making it up there.
Yeah. You know, the one thing that you never see, though, you never see CP power really leading on the CN or even trailing on the CN, and you never really see CN power on the CP. Have you noticed that? It's so rare.
Yeah.
I feel like that rivalry is still very, very strong.
Yeah, it's a bit of competition going on.
There was a WC boxcar that just went by. Look at these blue gons that are going by the screen now. These have obviously been added to increase their height a little bit. Oh, now, well, there's a CP rail gon right in the middle. But yeah, it's fascinating to see some of the retrofits that they do with these cars. And I think that these coal hoppers, if we could... Oh, these are CNW coal hoppers. Look at that. Some of them
That's
still
neat.
got the Herald on them.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you to our host here in not Stevens Point, Nina, for allowing us to have this wonderful view of the Nina yard.
I'm curious to know how those CNW coal hoppers made it up to Nina.
Well, they're lease cars.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, if you look at it, they've got the reporting marks on them or something like IFRX or something. They're definitely they're definitely re-stenciled. They just haven't taken and painted over the CNW logo.
That's true.
There's actually another one coming up right here. And if I can make out the reporting marks, I think it is IFRX or maybe ITFX, something along those lines.
Something along those lines, yeah.
So that's how. Now I'm pretty sure this guy pulls up and stops and does some work in the yard. So we're not going to roll this whole guy by. We'll jump back to the next timestamp. What are we looking for next here?
That's CN 3015 at 10:53:17.
Okay, so we got to go back a whole hour. Almost. That's 11:05. There's a switch engine pulling a cut out of the yard.
Oh, yeah.
And he's kicking cars down into the yard. Can we actually see? I might have gone back too far. I don't actually see him pulling his cut out to see where the switch engine was. All right, 10:52:53. So we've got a skid loader pushing snow around the yard too. If somebody wants to let us know how much snow they actually got up in central Wisconsin this last week, it feels like it was just a ton. Yeah, so here's the CN Veterans Unit, 3015, followed by another, just a standard CNGE, following it up on a intermodal train. And did we have a train signal or train symbol for this? M357 right there.
Yeah, M357.
I see it now. Yep, it's in the comments. Thank you. Thank you, Ian, for putting that out there. So, those CN containers, I feel like there's more of those that are making it into circulation now.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Oftentimes when I'm up on the Iron Range up sort of in the Virginia area, there's a lot of intermodal that goes through that area, and there are a lot of CN containers.
Yeah. So when we're done rolling this guy by, the CN has in fact given the light to the CP to cross through the Dubuque Junction. So we'll jump over and check that out next, I think. But lots of auto racks going by here. Let's see here. Get caught up on our comments. Yes, thank you, Henry, for hosting. Brad, yeah, way too much snow. I don't know what the snowfall totals are, but for this month, it's getting kind of crazy.
See, I've already lost the concept of snow.
Yeah, because
so
of being in...
that. Yeah, because of being in South Florida.
Right. Yeah, I get it. I mean, some of us do in fact get the privilege of visiting some of these wonderful locations when it's cold out everywhere else. So congratulations there, Robert. And we have a CITXer, former lease power, bringing up the rear. You notice that one actually has a patch stencil. It's got CN reporting marks on it now.
Yeah, yeah.
And the switch engine is pulling out. Is this a... That's a wide cab switch engine. Look at that.
Oh yeah, it is.
Is that one of those wide cab SD? No, it's a wide cab Jeep is what it is.
Yeah.
Huh, fascinating.
Interesting. Yeah. I want to say that's a G40-2WL. Just given by what I can hear on the camera.
Yeah.
I don't think CN has a lot of wide cab GP38s left.
No, that's why I'm saying. When that popped its head out, I immediately, it caught my attention immediately.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
All right. So now, shall we check
got a
back in
comment
on
that
Austin at
says,
Grand Mound? See how he's doing?
Oh, sure. We got a comment saying CN replaced CP in the EMP container pool.
Yeah, because
That's
we had talked
interesting.
about this a couple months ago. UP controls the EMP container pool. And when it looked like that the CP-KCS merger was going to go through, the UP kicked CP out of the pool. And so apparently the CN has replaced them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I suppose UP probably didn't want this CPKC to be like the controlling railroad in the EMP container pool.
Excuse me, yes. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Sorry about that. All right. Well, we're checking in on Austin, but I don't see any more trains, so we're going to keep
signals
moving
are
along
off.
here. I did reset the Tremplo camera also. Thanks for the note on that. And we are looking at, yeah, there's nothing lined up on the Waterloo sub. Nothing we can see anyway. And if I jump over to the Dubuque ATCS, yeah, that train is pulling through now. So we're going to jump over to Dubuque North, and we will take a look at...
We have a question from Zane Smith. Tom, any updates on when the Manly cam will be coming back?
Yeah, so I am working on getting someone up to Manly because the camera just needs to be re-aimed. It's still on and working. It just has to be aimed correctly because it's pointed down toward the street. So yes,
right, because of
definitely
all the
working on
snow
getting that
coming
reset.
off the roof.
And we should start seeing this CP train basically any moment here. I don't know. He's showing on the circuit in between the two control points right now. So it's just a matter of how long it takes for him to get over this far.
I've also got a lot of questions from people about when the Carroll camera will be back up, so maybe just talk about that a little bit here.
Yeah, so this is another, Manly and Carroll are the two that have been off the longest, I believe, because we did actually get Grinnell and Sedalia back online. Grinnell had been off for 2 months. Sedalia was just off over the weekend, but I did get those two back online, and it's just a matter of I don't really have the time to get out there, the ability to get out there myself, but I am working with some people to try to get someone out in position to reset those two cameras and be able to get those back working. It absolutely is a priority for me. It's just a matter of the logistics of getting someone out there or getting out there myself to make sure that this happens.
Right.
All right. While we're waiting for the CP to show up, what else do we have for comments here? Yes, Tremplo's been reset. Got that. Lots of those WC boxcars ended up in New Mexico. I had no idea. Had no idea about that. Fascinating. What else do we have here? Yeah, the CN seems to be the rarest to show up on the CP. Yeah, that's exactly what I was commenting as well. That it does really seem like that's pretty rare. Alan Hunt, always good to see you on board. And Ian, Tom, Brett, CN replaced CP in the EMP container pool. Yep, we talked about that. M. Helium, hello all. Yes, hi, how are you doing? Zane Smith, the Manly camera. The signals are off. Oh, that's Austin. So the signals are off at Grand Mound. So that means that there's nobody there at the moment or no trains approaching there right now. So, all right. Well, thank you for that update. Where else have we got here? Any other camera's going to get 30 FPS. That's frames per second, by the way. Or is it just going to be grand mount? Well, the cameras, it takes two things, right? You have to have a camera that supports 30 frames per second, and you have to have the bandwidth to support it as well. So right now, we're probably going to stick with 15 for the rest of these cameras, at least up until the point where we can, until we get to the point where we can have better bandwidth, better camera technology. Yes, it would be great to have it everywhere, but it's just not always going to be realistic. Zane Smith lives in Mason City. Could go up there and adjust it if you want. Zane Smith, that would be fantastic. Send me an email, thesteelhighway@gmail.com, and send me an email, and really, I think that there's something that we could work out there for sure. Just me. Hello, Henry. We actually already checked in on your cameras, Henry. So, thank you for tuning in today. I know that Henry kind of has a crazy work schedule sometimes, but we're always glad to see him. I do not know what is taking this Canadian Pacific train so long to get over here. Unless if, oh, I wonder if he stopped and worked at the transfer tracks. That could be.
He could have, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're not gonna wait for this guy. He might have stopped and made a pickup or set out at the transfer tracks. We're gonna move on. This might literally be quite a while before we actually see him.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump down to Bellevue and we're gonna find his train an hour ago going by Bellevue.
I was literally just on my way to look at that.
Yep. We should only have to go back about an hour to find this, because I don't think he was sitting there at Wood very long waiting for his turn to get across. Bellevue was another one that I reset this morning. Oh, and he's not on here. But thank you to Evan Weber for going through and resetting the time because of the daylight savings time change yesterday. So, Evan, if you end up watching this later, thank you for getting that done so that we can have the correct time on the various webcams. Definitely appreciate that. Let's take a look here. How far
We have a
back?
train at 10:36.
10:36? All right.
Yeah, that's the only one that I can find, so I guess that's probably...
Well, this camera feed got reset this morning also.
Yeah.
Because I ran some updates on the cameras this morning, and part of that, sometimes when I run the updates, I end up losing the feed and I have to totally reset it, which means we lose the history of it also.
Right.
All right, 10:31, and advancing just a little ways further, we're going to find 10:36. Well, 10:35. Close enough. This is what we're going to do. So, while we're waiting for this CP train to show up, what do we have here? Oh, updates on the CPKC merger. No, we're still waiting on federal regulators to issue their final ruling on CPKC. Very wet snow up in Wisconsin. I absolutely believe that, Brett. It's very wet snow here in eastern Iowa too. And the BLE 866 in Neenah this weekend in the yard. Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's a
Isn't
good
that
catch.
an SD38-2?
Yeah.
Neat.
Oh, apparently the signals popped in there at Grand Mountain, so Austin must have something coming. We'll check back in on him a little later. The EJE 703 and GTW 5874 still working as a pair. That must be also in the Neenah yard. Yep. And 4912 paired with an IC Jeep 38-2 as well. All right, we have gates on. We have crossing appliances are activated as here in downtown Bellevue. So we should be getting... All right, the CP9828, one unit wonder. Well, we don't know. It might have a DPU back there, but...
Yeah. It's a decent leader, at least. I always like seeing the Beaver AC-44s.
And awful lot of tank cars here going by. So this is, I presume that we're looking at our K-39 going north because of if he stopped. If he's stopped here at, oh, well, I don't know. Now...
It's just a train of tank cars.
Oh, so this is like a, what do they call those? Like the 374 trains?
I think at least the southbound is 576, I think.
Oh, yeah. All right. So 576, 577. That's the pair.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. So this would be an empty crude oil train going back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we do have a DPU.
Okay. Well, we'll hang on and check out the DPU as this guy rolls through downtown Bellevue. And, yes, some comments. Hello, Evan Weber. Yes, everyone say hi to Evan. If he watches later, he'll be able to see it. And train is coming up to Grand Mound. All right, we will check on that a little later, Austin. Sedalia Cam is back online. Oh, but the hour... Okay, so we need to reset the time on the Sedalia camera. But yes, that was off over the weekend. We think it might have been some kind of a power fluctuation that knocked it offline. But it's definitely on back now. Back on now. So if this guy is a 577, he must have just been crawling across the CN. Maybe they had a 10 mph or something that he had to work through on his way there.
Maybe.
Yeah. So CBTX, apparently CBTX is a reporting mark for these oil trains going back to, well, Alan Hunt says Rosyth, however that's pronounced, in Alberta. So this is definitely a Alberta oil sand oil sand train. Yes.
Oh, we just have, it's just going through Dubuque Junction now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
They must have had some sort of a slow order then.
Yeah. Well, now when I look at this, there's a southbound lined up at Wood also, so he's making a meet, apparently.
Oh, curious.
Yeah. Citibank tank lease cars. Interesting. CBTX. I did not know that. I thought they, well, I know they use CITX. I didn't know they use CBTX as well. So that's fascinating. So what else have we got here? Well, we do need to get over to Mount Pleasant at some point, but I want to see this. I want to see this DPU on the empty oil train. You've piqued my curiosity now, Patrick.
Yeah. Got another about 10 seconds.
There we go. Alright, well, kind of a ratty looking UP with the big flag on the side. Those flags are going away now too.
They are, yeah.
Part of the repaint process, I suppose. Alright.
12:29 is when it started going across Dubuque Junction.
Yeah, well, what I'm
going
to do now, because we rolled this guy by at Bellevue, if they run a southbound back the other way, we'll roll that by off Dubuque Junction.
Yeah.
We are going to jump over now to Mount Pleasant. And we have a the station agent at Mount Pleasant called me this morning because they had a very out of the ordinary experience today, or yesterday, where they had 2 number 6s go by the depot yesterday about 8 hours apart.
Yeah, because one was, only a day late.
Right.
Only like 28 hours, nothing too serious.
Oh, it was over 30.
Oh, was it by the time it got to Mount Pleasant?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We do have, I just popped this up. We have a coal train at 12:11. Thought it might be interesting. There's a cool unit second out.
Sure. You're talking about by Mount Pleasant, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a look and see. Here we go. So yeah, we're looking at the Mount Pleasant Amtrak depot, but this is the Mount Pleasant the BNSF Tumblr sub through Mount Pleasant. And we see that we have an Executive Max second out, and it's got a wagon wheel logo on the front.
Yeah, it's a wagon wheel.
TVAX. Did we figure out that this was the Tennessee Valley Authority?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know I think I was on with Noah that day, but we saw one of these TVAX trains last week. And I'm pretty sure that that's what we figured out. That's where they came from. And this is a bottom dump. So some of these are side dumps where they have to put them they put them actually in a circular dumper and they turn each car to the side to empty them out. But these have got the gated bottoms. They've got 5 gates on the bottom, and people have to go through and manually open those gates to empty out the coal. Excuse me, as they go across whatever the unloading platform is.
If we want to roll one more train by, there's a manifest at 11:39 with sort of in my opinion, a neat consist.
All right, we'll take a look at that next. I assume this guy's got a DPU on him somewhere as well.
Probably. I didn't check it though.
So we'll keep rolling this guy by and then see what we got coming up here. Let's see what we've got for. What do we got for comments here? Citibank owns and leases. Yeah, the CPTX banks. Yes, thank you, Henry, for that. And Noah Yetman. Hello, how are you? I don't know that I've seen you comment before. Nice to meet you. And yes, Rich. Oh yes, Rich in Otter Trail or Northern Transcon. We're going to stop in. Rich has got a new camera up in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. That was actually going to be my last stop of the day. Was to go back and look at the new Northern Transcon camera and get that. Let everybody know about that today. But that'll be our last stop here of the afternoon before we go off the air. And all right, so we got an intermodal at Grand Mound. Amtrak has left Fargo on the way to the new Detroit Lakes camera. All right. Spy. Yes, Brett. He's a spy, absolutely. All right, so we have a BNSF. We got an EMD engine on the rear for the BNSF there on that loaded coal train. All right, what was the timestamp you had, Patrick, for the
manifest? It's 11:30, 11:39:30.
Okay. Let's jump back. I am going to do just a little bit of cross-promoting here. Since we're looking at the Mount Pleasant webcam, I am just going to mention that the Iowa chapter is doing a meet at the Mount Pleasant Old Threshers grounds on April 15th. So if you're into railroad history at all and you want to travel to Mount Pleasant, it's a fantastic way to check out. We're going to do trolley rides. We're going to have a catered dinner. And we're going to have a speaker, which is the actual founder of the Iowa chapter. So, yeah, if you're interested in going down to Mount Pleasant, that is going to be April 15th. So you can go to iowanrhs.com and check that out. All right. So now we're looking at this manifest. We've got an H1 there in the middle of the consist. And we got an H2, an H1, and then a BNSF swoosh. And this is, let's see here. So we've got a wheel car, flat car loaded with wheels here on the front end. Probably going to Galesburg to get set out for wheel work at the car shops. And then lots of tank cars. Do we know? I'd be interested to know what the actual symbol is. Is this the Grand Island manifest train that we're looking at, or is it something else? Because
if anyone in the chat knows, that'd be an awesome thing to put in.
Yeah, I did see that. We got one train symbol already out of him earlier. So I was hoping that Mr. Alan Hunt would be able to help us out. So
he
number
did say
6,
ILBG4 was the train going by Grand Mound.
Oh, okay. Well, those Long Beach intermodal trains are usually pretty colorful, pretty interesting. So we'll check that out too.
Yeah.
Scott Smith, hello from Guttenberg. We have a resident of Guttenberg. Yes, the webcam up there too. Fantastic place. I really enjoyed working with the city up there in Guttenberg to get that camera put in place. So yes.
Noah says probably Lane Gal or DMO Gal.
Yeah. All right. So that's. But you see, that Des Moines train usually runs overnight,
It does, yeah.
Which is why it makes me think that this is not. There's a green BN hopper and a Santa Fe hopper. Look at that.
We got confirmation from Alan Hunt, Lingau.
All right. Well, as we're looking at all these green BN hoppers rolling by and Santa Fe hoppers rolling by, this is going to be my opportunity to segue into the next issue of Steel Highway. We are looking for heritage units, heritage equipment. If you've got good shots of, green BN cabooses or C&W coal trains or whatever you got, send them along. We're looking for photos. Looking for photos of heritage units and fallen flags for the next issue of Steel Highway. So go to steel-highway.com, check that out. You can email me at thesteelhighway@gmail.com if you want to submit photos. But otherwise, that's what I'm looking for. The deadline is going to be April 1st for the next issue, and then it's going to be in the mail right around May 1st. So that's my shameless plug for Steel Highway. Those look like ore hoppers that just went by. Yeah, look at this. There's another chunk of them here.
I believe BNSF uses those for things like rock and ballast.
Okay.
They do have cars that they use for ore that are similar, but they're the ones that rolled by do look like they're sort of rebuilt from older cars.
All right.
At least to my knowledge, that's what they are.
Well, that's good to know.
I think there was a railroad that rebuilt them from old coal hoppers.
Sure. All right, let's jump back over to Grand Mound, and we'll see this Long Beach intermodal train I see Austin is still parked there. So, hello again, Austin. And we're going to jump back just a little bit here and check out. Here comes the gates coming down, and Austin, of course, out doing the railfan thing.
UP detector, milepost 24.9, track 2.
So what do we have? We have a 54.88, it looks like, on the lead. And so those tanks are always interesting. That's those intermodal, the intermodal cars that have tanks, but they're in rectangular frames to make them fit in the intermodal car so they don't roll around. And then you see, you know, this is something we've talked about on the show before also, but you see those longer containers on top of the shorter containers where they hang off the ends. That's looking at the difference between the domestic containers and the intermodal or the international containers.
Right, yeah.
And then we got some HMM, Ocean One, which is Ocean Network Express.
6505 MG2NP.
A Hyundai container, CAI, NYK Logistics, lots of good stuff on it. Triton, K-Line.
They're having some kind of an AC power issue on track 1. So I don't know if it's going to do anything to your signals if it throws a track light in there or not, but I wanted to make you aware of it ahead of time. Just a little caution between 74 and 86. They told me there's nothing wrong with the track, but again, it's some kind of a power surge issue or something.
Huh, that's interesting.
That's interesting, yeah.
This guy that's going by us is actually on main 2. He was talking about a problem on main 1, which is the north main.
We got a comment saying CN uses the same car for ore on U723, 724. I think the 23 and 24 are on the Bessemer range, but I could be wrong about that. I don't think they don't use those on the Iron Range for sure.
Well, we know that we had definitely seen that style of hopper, maybe that not the exact type, but certainly that style of hopper has been seen before.
Yeah,
we've seen it on the BNSF and on the CN going through Wisconsin, both.
Yeah, I think that I'm sure a lot of roads do this, but at least Florida East Coast uses those extensively for ballast.
Okay. Got some DPUs coming, it sounds like. 2 DPUs and then more containers. There's some of the... So they reversed the color scheme on some of these. You saw the pink with the white lettering on the bottom and then white with pink lettering on the top for the Ocean Network Express.
Those are the all-rail ones, so they do use them on the DMI Orange. Thank you, Noah. I did not know that, actually.
Yeah. So...
I'm not very familiar with all the all-rail movements on the range, so anyone who wants to educate me on that, feel free.
Yes. Yes, definitely. So what else have we got for comments here while we've got this Long Beach intermodal train going by? You talked about those U723, 724. Trempealeau had a military train. Yeah, the UP had a military train go through last week as well. Went across Iowa with the whole military equipment. The 53s never leave North America. Yes. Gives the hobos some cover. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Maybe I didn't look back far enough in the comments. Let's see here. Craig Williams Yes, they do on all rails to Convent, Louisiana. Mountain Iron to Louisiana and back for a couple of years. Some port in Louisiana. Now, yeah. We've got all kinds of comments there now. Yes, we did get that. Run up to Mintac and take about 6 hours to load. Thank you for the Grand Mound hosting. Yes. So we've had our Grand Mound camera. We've had, which is hosted by the city of Grand Mound. We stopped in at Bellevue, which is the Brinker's Pizza and 2nd Street Station in Bellevue. And we were also in Mount Pleasant, so the Mount Pleasant Coffee Shop. Thank you, everyone, for hosting in those locations. We're going to go back to Dubuque, which is hosted by All Seasons Trucking. And we will look at North Dubuque because I think that this train, it should be here or even all by us potentially. I don't think it was very long. But I think that the southbound, so they must have made a meet on the Dubuque siding. And maybe I went back a little too far even. But he must have just, there we go, I see it now. Yep, I can hear he's whistling for the crossings. Gates coming down. So this is the guy so we saw that northbound oil train go by, and now this is the southbound, probably the K38. And it looks like he has a single NS motor leading as he comes cruising around the curve toward Dubuque Junction. Yep. NS 8142 on the point. Some loads of scrap on the head end. Oh, very short train. This is literally 6 cars. 7 cars. Wow. I wonder, is that truly today's K38? That's fascinating. All right. Well, don't blink, you might miss it. But anyway, we are going to now, we're going to go over to, because we're getting close to the end of the program here, we're going to go over to Northern Transcon and look at their brand new camera that they have in Detroit Lakes. So as I bounce around here, Northern Transcon Detroit Lakes camera. And first off, look at all the snow on the ground. But yes.
Oh, wow. So
we're looking, gosh, somebody really needs to get the city to move that stop sign. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but we're looking at the Detroit Lakes, Minnesota Amtrak depot. And we need to back up a little bit here and hopefully find a train. Oh, here it is. All right, so we have a loaded BNSF coal train. So this is Detroit Lakes. We are on the BNSF between St. Paul and Fargo, North Dakota here. And if you look at the top, actually, it shows east is to the left. This is a loaded coal train going toward the Twin Cities. And it looks like we have a BNSF system set of hoppers. There's a BN coal hopper out there. But lots of different styles of stenciling on the sides of these cars. So, yeah, raise the camera up a little higher. That's probably exactly what you need to do. If you raised it up, even I would say like 18 inches or 2 feet maybe, you'd look right over the top of that stop sign and have a really nice view looking down at the depot. So Jenks Soenvac. That's apparently our host up here, the host for Northern Transcon Rail Fans. Amtrak is doing about 30 minutes or so, and well, we're not going to hang around to see Amtrak, but we did want to tell everyone, check out Northern Transcon, because they do have some really nice locations, and this is just one more location that he got added over the weekend. So congratulations to Northern Transcon for getting another camera up. And I think that as we're rolling this train by, I am going to just go ahead and do the final plug here. This is west of Staples, where many coal trains cut off for Duluth. Yes. All right, so as we're wrapping up here, make sure and check out steel-highway.com. Order a magazine. You can always join the channel, and you can join the channel for a monthly fee and help support us that way. Order the magazine, order an individual copy, or subscribe for the whole year with a discount. And make sure, oh, there's a war bonnet. Look at that. Wow, I'm glad we hung around for it's patched, but glad we hung around for the rear of the train. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. Patrick, thank you for being on with me today. Any final thoughts for us, Patrick?
I don't have any. Just stay safe out there.
Yeah, stay warm. It looks very, very cold up here in Minnesota. Yeah. So yes, enjoy the rest of your spring break, Patrick. Thanks for checking in with us today.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for tuning in, and we're going to call it a program for today. We will be back next week, Monday at noon.